5 minutes for the purpose of asking his questions.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all for being here this morning, this afternoon. Obviously, the most important, one of the most important things we face is to make sure that our elections are fair and that our elections are secure, and I think it's one of the biggest concerns of the American people, and I want to thank our chairman for his leadership over the 118th Congress in really focusing and honing in on how to make these elections more secure, to make sure that they are fair, to make sure that American citizens are the ones voting in the American process. And I've heard, not only today, but throughout conversations, that people are saying, well, there's the amount of non-citizens voting is not really significant. So I have to really, this is a question for everybody, because it's one that really should keep people up at night. Like, what is the red line, right? Democrats say that there is not a significant number of non-citizens registered to vote, but yet there's still evidence of non-citizens on voter rolls, right? So we're being told by Democrats that it's not a significant number, but yet they're still on the voter rolls. So I'm going to start, I guess, from right to left, left to right, and just, I guess, tell us, you know, what's the red line? What is the number that we think makes it significant? What is the number that would require the federal government to implement policies to prevent non-citizens from voting in our elections, one of our most sacred rights?
Congressman, it should be a zero-tolerance policy. In Florida, in 2000, 537 votes separated President Bush from Senator Gore. Small numbers matter in elections. Our current Speaker of the House lost his first race by 2 votes. If there were 3 illegal votes, that is overwhelming to his race. There should be a zero-tolerance policy when it comes to non-citizens.
Agree, zero tolerance. Every year, dozens of elections in Ohio come down to a single vote, and those are usually local elections, but those matter. We say every vote matters, we mean that, and we should not allow any non-citizens to be on our voter rolls.
I agree 100% with the previous 2 comments. Zero tolerance.
Agreed, and it is already illegal for non-citizens to register and vote, and I completely agree with that.
I agree as well. We're doing everything we can to ensure that non-citizens are not able to vote and that only U.S. citizens vote in our election. And it's working. There's no evidence that non-citizens are voting. If they were, it would be easy to prove since voting records are public. And despite numerous organizations spending a lot of money to try to convince people that non-citizens are voting, none of these groups have actually been able to provide any evidence of it.
I'll save you time and just say I agree, sir.
Okay. Mr. LaRose, I'm going to let you follow up on the statement from Ms. Benson.
We found 135 this year that had voted. We found another 400 that were registered but hadn't yet voted. And this idea that it's already illegal. It's illegal to hijack airplanes, but we don't get rid of the TSA.
It's also illegal to use fentanyl and smuggle fentanyl into the country. It's also illegal to come across our southern border and not face asylum, right? It's also illegal for many things. It's illegal to carry guns in some of our bluest cities and states, but yet every day there is more and more gun violence. So I think what we're seeing here is that perhaps we need a better definition of the term significant, because I think if one person that is not an American citizen has the ability to vote in our election, there is a serious problem. As was mentioned by many of our witnesses, our elections are coming down to just dozens or hundreds of votes. We had a state assembly race in my congressional district just 2 years ago where it came down to 138 votes. So yes, every vote does count, and as we continue to sit here and try to deny the fact that there are non-citizens not only registering but actually voting in our elections, it is clear that that is not a fact, because there are people casting ballots throughout this country that are non-citizens. And I believe after the last 3.5 years where we've saw 3.5, or I should say over close to 15 million people come across our southern border, we would be lying to ourselves to think that some of them are not going to take the opportunity to vote. So with that, I think that this committee continues to do the work that we do to secure our elections. I want to thank you all for your work, and Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. We now recognize Ms. Lee, the former Secretary of State of the